Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for, what day is it today? Wednesday, November the 20th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions you might have for me, this is the email address you can use. This is a link to get into our free room, 100% free. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas to be in our free trading room. I open the room from 9 to 3 Eastern every day. That's when I get live, and I'm live on the screen, and I share my mic all day long. In the link you're getting, it's the end of the test drive, guys. Only 2 more days, Thursday and Friday, and then it's over. Probably the next one will be in February. So hopefully, if you took part in the test drive, you had a good feel about what Trade Ideas is all about. And you also see, there'll be a promo code soon for those of you who took the test drive. Probably a pretty good one, either 20 or 25% off. All right, well, you probably have heard me quite a while by talking about the fact that we're getting to the end of earnings season. And today, I just want to show you the AI. So here's the AI. Notice we don't have a Holly Neo in it. And Holly Neo has been a star over the last several weeks, really. And I kept saying it. I was going to be very interested to see, well, what would happen once we kind of fell out of earnings season. Now, we still have some earnings plays, but not a lot. And Holly Neo really specializes in those stocks that have a lot of volume, a lot of relative volume, and not one stock trigger today. Most of the time, the stocks that we saw from Holly Neo were earnings plays. So, we're getting to the end, and be interested in what happens next week. We only have a couple of 200 companies releasing earnings next week. We have 400 this week. We had 1,000 the week before and 1,800 the week before that. So we're getting right to the end of earnings season. Now, we had one very interesting play, the UWT. Now, I don't often, I don't really check the ETFs that much, but look at the time of the actual entry, 10:30. Now, UWT is a 3 times energy play, okay? Let me just see exactly what it's called. Yeah, 3-time long crude. So crude numbers come out at 10:30 every Wednesday. So look at this, 1108, and it hit all the way up here, 1188. Now, this is the market starting to move down. I guess talks again, no China deal, on and on and on. Getting so sick of this, on again, off again. But anyway, this is probably why this is starting to drop. But the crude numbers came out. Obviously, inventories were down, which of course helped spike the price of oil. And that's why this happened. Now, I kept saying to people in the room, look at what the AI got out of this trade at 11:54 on a timed exit. This particular strategy that UWT came from had a 45-minute hold period. What that means is that the overall strategy, has been optimized for a 45-minute hold. That's the overall strategy. But as I constantly remind people, that when you get into one of these, you should, in my opinion, manage the individual trade on its own. Because why would you get out of this trade at 11:54 right here? We didn't know it was going to keep moving higher, but why would you do that? This trade was still working. So in my opinion, the best way to use the AI is sort of a man and machine or machine and man combination. If you do want to use auto trading at all, then okay, you want to auto trade the entries, but then I would be managing them on. I wouldn't be auto trading the exits, because if you had done that on this one, you would have been shortchanging yourself quite a bit. There's another 30-cent pop on top of that. So that's what I always tell people. So that's just that's my feeling, and I don't think I'll ever change. And that's really kind of the company line now with the AI. Great if you want to auto exit or auto entry the entries, but manage the exits on your own. So that was UWT. Now, I finally did it, guys. ARAV. So if you were in the room this past week, and of course, how could we forget, what is the one I'm looking at here? Oh, no. Just a minute, please. I've got to find the symbol. Can't believe I've forgotten it. There we are, KRTX. So, and there was one other one, KRTX, but this is the one, of course, that everybody saw. Hit $100, $153 from, I can't even remember when. Let's take a look at it on the daily chart. So, I mean, 3 days ago, this was a $17 stock that hit $152 yesterday. Okay, so I mean, craziness, absolute craziness. So I threatened, I said to the room, I said, you know what, the next time we get one of these low float, more expensive stocks, I'm going to take some. And this is, I mean, the situation, this was, relatively expensive, $17 to have only 9.5 million in the float. So ARAV, this popped up this morning. ARAV popped up this morning. It has 7.5 million shares in the float. Now, let's see what happened. So I saw this. I'm going, wow. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of this. I waited for on that pullback, and I got into this trade right there at 23.43. I sold some, I mean, almost immediately, actually was up here. It was at 28. Actually had another sale at 28.30. Don't have it marked. And then on the way down. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it's going to hang in this area. And then when the market opens, I was going to pile back in. Who knows? Maybe this is going to run to 100. No. So they don't all, do what the other one did. But again, this was such a low float situation, a relatively, now granted, it came from $6. The other one came from 17. So it wasn't quite the same scenario. But I thought, you know what? Traders are looking for the next one that might do a KRTX. This didn't quite do it. I mean, had it done it, it would have kind of based here, and then when the market opened, it would have just exploded. And it's a bio, had some news. I didn't really read the news. All I saw was this. So anyway, a nice present for me in the pre-market, and but we'll have to see what happens next on this. Now, the Smile Club, SDC, this was an AI alert yesterday. And I said yesterday that, this could be, in fact, the AI alert was right here at 8:34. So I said yesterday that, well, look at this daily chart or the weekly chart, and this obviously has some room. In fact, that even if you look at the daily chart, you'll see it maybe even. So this has some room. And I said, if it can get through this area right here, I mean, look at the room it can have. This was an IPO from this area, from back here, and it's obviously not done very well. But I ended up taking this trade, and it came from my watch list also. There it came from the, oops, I'm going to bring it in here. It came from the watch list right there at 903. Now I said I didn't want to take it there because I wanted it to, oh, you have to look at a 15-minute chart. Well, there was some resistance. Oh no, I know what I'm looking at. Just a second here. Sorry about that. It's the daily. Yeah, so I was looking at this area right there. You see the daily chart? So the high was 920. The high was 913. I wanted to break out of here, okay? So I actually ended up taking the trade right at 920 because I said, well, if it can break this, because, we get the alert at 903, but could it easily have stalled right around that 920 mark. I ended up taking this trade at 920 and got out here at 940 and at 9, and it popped up to 954, and then as it slid underneath 950, I got out again. Was waiting to see if it would hold this area, and it just hasn't done that. So as a potential swing trade right now, the only way I would do it is if it got back up into this area, because right now this could be just a continuation now of the downtrend. We don't know. We have to, again, look at the bigger time frame. And this could now, maybe that's the last gasp, and maybe, who knows, maybe it starts to move down again. So for me, it would have to get near today's high. And then, yeah, maybe I would be induced or somewhat more in favor of taking a look at it as a swing trade. But unless it did that, I don't want to do it. If I took it right now, I'd have to worry about it breaking today's high. If I took it now and it just held in this area for the rest of the day, then we've got to worry about that high today before it can even start to approach that. So that's why I'm not going to do it. And let's see, is there anything else? That's about it. I mean, I've had some nice ones from my watch list. VFF, 659, got as high as 699. Let me get to the 15-minute time frame before it pulled back. This could be an interesting one, guy. Oh, it's pulled back a little bit. Had some news. I do have a. You might want to watch this one tomorrow. Look at the daily chart. She should look at the weekly chart. Have a better picture of why I'm interested. So you can see right there on that weekly chart. In fact, I have what's called a conditional buy order at 510. So if it takes out 510, gets over 5, but look left. Now it's not a low float situation. It's got 224 million in the float. But if it can take this out here, may not do it today, but if it does it tomorrow, then you look left and it's got lots and lots of room. Okay, up to that 850 mark. So I mean, if it takes out 5. If we get anywhere close to this area, that would be a great percentage move. So I'm definitely going to be watching that one tomorrow. The CGIX was another one, of course, which was really crazy in the pre-market. This is what I did not trade it because I was so, I had to worry about the other one that I was in. But this was an earnings play, plus they're looking to perhaps sell themselves, or get into a merger. So this one was a very crazy one. There was the original alert at at 595, and what did it hit? 778. So it would have been, it wasn't an easy one, though. In that candle, there it is, and it just continued. So, but some interesting ones definitely from my watch list. But today was the first day that we didn't get a Holly Neal and didn't get any that were really, really big percentage movers. Now, the AGIO is starting to move down now, AGIO, and I think that's, all to do with what the market is doing. A lot of stocks started doing this once this market started doing this, and this again. On again, off again with China. All right, everybody, I want to get back into the room. So if you're in the test drive, I hope you've had a good time. I mean, we've had a great stretch. I mean, started last Monday on the 11th. And except for today, and I don't know what tomorrow and Friday are going to bring, but today was the first, what I would call kind of choppy day, not getting a lot of tremendous continuation plays. But, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow and Friday. So I'll bring back the capture program. So again, any questions for me, you can use this email address. This is a link to get into our free room. We'll open the room tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.